Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Q2 FY25 earnings conference call of Akzo Nobel Limited, hosted by ICICI Securities. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in a listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Anirudh Joshi from ICICI Securities. Thank you, and over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Yashasri. On behalf of ICICI Securities, we welcome you all to Q2 FY25 results webinar of Akzo Nobel India. We have with us senior management represented by Mr. Rajiv Rajgopal, Chairman and Managing Director, Mr. Krishna R, CFO and Whole-Time Director, Mr. Rajiv Jha, Company Secretary and Compliance Officer. Now I hand over the call to Mr. Rajiv Jha for his opening statutory statements. Thanks, and over to you, Mr. Jha.
So, good afternoon once again, everyone who have joined this call. Let us begin this call with the safe harbor statement from our side. So, this media release contains statements which address such key issues as Akzo Nobel's growth strategy, future financial results, market positions, product development, products in the pipeline, and product approvals. Such statements should be carefully considered, and it should be understood that many factors could cause forecast and actual results could differ from these statements. These factors include, but are not limited to, price fluctuations, currency fluctuations, developments in raw material and personnel costs, pensions, physical and environmental risks, legal issues, and legislative, fiscal, and other regulatory measures, as well as significant market disruptions. Stated competitive positions are based on management estimated supported by information provided by specialized external agencies. For a more comprehensive discussion of the risk factors affecting our business, please see our latest annual report. Also, the company has been making the required disclosures and clarifications from time to time to BSE and NSE pertaining to Akzo Nobel NVs, which is our parent or promoter entity, media release on portfolio review with initial focus on Deco South Asia, and the management would not be responding to any general and/or specific query in this regard in this investors call. However, the investors and public at large would be kept informed of any updates in this regard as per the listing regulations.
Thanks, Rajiv. Let me quickly capture the brief highlights of last quarter gone by. We did deliver strong double-digit volume growth for a fourth consecutive quarter, despite of the challenging market conditions. Revenue growth of 3% was led by our B2B businesses. Impact of raising RMC is felt on the gross margins. There is a margin erosion of around 100 basis points led by the RM inflation. However, we continue to invest in our growth and branding and behind the brands while optimizing the costs and achieve the improved profitability. The profit after tax for the quarter was at 97.9 crores with a growth of 4%. And while coming to H1 performance, so far the year was challenging, but we maintained a healthy growth and a double-digit profitability. Working capital remains efficient, and as a percentage of revenue stood at 5%. This has helped to generate healthy cash flows, and it supported our capex plans and dividend payouts. We ended the September quarter with a liquidity of 623 crores. This is a brief highlights of what has happened in the last quarter. Now I would ask Rajiv to share his insights.
Good afternoon, everyone. Delighted to be with all of you. We've put the investor call deck onto the website, and you can see the details there. But suffice to say, Krishna has run you through the financials. The decorative paints vertical for us had a high single-digit volume growth. The revenue was flat, primarily because of the fact that we had the exterior part of the portfolio, which is a sizable part of the premium emulsions, which contribute a lot, was impacted. We have seen, I would say a different trajectory this quarter from all the earlier quarters. We've seen a little bit of rebounds of mass market, mid-tier, and we've also seen basically the growth still for us coming from our larger towns, for us, we still believe that the rural markets, the inflation impact is still lingering. However, of course, we see some marginal improvements that we've seen in the month of October. Our B2B part in the decorative paints grew well, double digit. And in our coating businesses, our coatings verticals, marine protective and powder had some phenomenal performances, while we had some challenging situations in our automotive and specialty coatings business. So that's broadly to say. We've had some good launches. Rohit and the team have been sort of executing our strategy well. We've seen a couple of results by some of our peers in the last couple of days, but I would refrain myself from holding to a market share commentary till we see all the results. But so far from what we've seen, we believe that we continue to gain market share as we go across some of all our large flagship business. Yeah. So that's in substance. We don't want to spend too much of time on the deck. I also wanted to inform all our investors that we are delighted that as we conclude the 70th year of Akzo Nobel's business in India, we are delighted to make sure that we give one-time, interim dividend in keeping in lieu of the occasion. And we wanted to first celebrate this with all our investors before we also celebrate this with our employees. Yeah? Just as a part of the process, I want to be very clear that given the responsibilities of the role that I have, Krishna and myself are completely recused from the process that Akzo Nobel NV, the parent NV, is sort of actually anchoring at this point of time. Suffice to say, as the global parent has already mentioned, right? At this point, everything is in and all options are being looked at. And at any point of time when we believe that there is a material event, we would like to follow the appropriate protocols that we've been following now, informing our board and then informing our investors, in the appropriate manner. Yeah. So with this, I think we've already concluded 15 minutes. So I think in the larger interest of time, what I would like to do is to open it up, Anirudh and Manoj, for any question answers that people may have. I would like to state that this has been, when I look at not just the peer set, but when I look at FMCG in general, we can see that the growth has been fairly sluggish. Obviously, we were quite worried when, the first couple of months went by. But we are happy to see that we managed to grow and also maintain our profitability. Yeah? And we've done that while investing in our growth. So it's not that we've cut corners. You've seen our advertising quite recently. I've been traveling the markets extensively. I was just in Calcutta a day ago. So we've been between Rohit, myself, and the team. We are extensively traveling, looking at what we can do, and our focus is to continue to grow the business as we move ahead. Yeah. So with this, Anirudh, Manoj, Yashasvi, we open the floor for questions.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. To ask an interactive question, please click on the raise hand icon tab available on the toolbar, or you may click on Q&A icon to raise hand. The operator will announce your name when it is your turn to ask a question. To ask a text question, you may click on the text tab available on the top on clicking the Q&A tab and type your question. We will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. We'll take a first question from Avi Mehta from Macquarie. Please go ahead.
Hi, Avi.
Hi, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, please
yes,
go
Avi.
ahead.
Yeah, sir, thanks a lot for this opportunity and congratulations on the healthy performance in decorative business. I just wanted to appreciate if this,
Avi, can you
wanted
be
to
a
understand
little
if
louder, please?
Sorry, is this better, sir?
Little louder.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
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 Okay. So I wanted to basically understand for the retail market, is the second half
Avi, I'm
showing
sorry
any
to
signs of
interrupt.
a pickup?
Avi, yeah, can you turn on your
Yeah,
webcam?
yeah.
Your signal is weak. So if you
Maybe,
turn your webcam, your audio will be
maybe.
better. Yeah, please go ahead.
Maybe I'll do that. Okay, thank you. So I just wanted to understand, sir, that are we seeing any signs of a pickup in the retail market versus the flattish trend that we saw in second half? This in particular, given the festive is also shorter this time. That would be the first question. And second, I just wanted to while I understand you've recused yourself from the process, could you just help us understand what is the process going to be? Is this only for decorative? Is industrial also part of it? Just or the steps and how would this kind of go about? Would be useful to understand that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So look, as far as the market is concerned, we've seen a slight pickup in our secondaries in the retail part of the business. What we are seeing very clearly is that as we approach Diwali, the first half, the last part of September had unusual rains, which all our peers have reported. So I don't want to go over it again, which also included the first part of October. But we've seen a huge uptick in our secondaries. However, what we've seen is that the retail ability to stock up, which is our primary sales to the to in the direct markets to the retailer or a distributor sales to the retailer, has not been of the level that the offtakes have been there in the second half. And I guess that's also to do with the fact that we still believe that while our collections is very good, we believe that in this industry and many of the other peer industries, overdue and collections has become a bit of a challenging because of some money crunch that we observed in the market. So our focus has been, and my focus as a challenger brand is always, a sale is a sale when money is collected. So really that's what sort of drove our actions and business. But to answer your question, Abhi, yes, there is a slight uptick. But it was towards the last 2 weeks. It's too early for me to pronounce and say everything is turned around. It's hunky dory. As I mentioned to you, right? The blended growth of paints plus coatings is almost, is a very high single digit, almost close to double digit actually. So really, our volume is picking up. Where we see a bit of a challenge is the fact that, because of the price drop at the beginning of the year, there's still impact of almost close to 3%, and obviously a mix because of the industry where the growth is coming in the industry continues to be a bit of a challenge, and that's where there's been a bit of a blended stuff when the revenue we look at a flat trajectory compared to a high double digit or a high single digit volume growth, a 9% to a flattish growth, right? So that's the first part of your question. The second part of your question, and I'm being very honest with you, uh, you know. We also are writing on a periodic basis to Akzo Nobel to keep us informed if there is any material event. And to the last message that Rajiv Jha got, because he's anchoring the process for Krishna and me and for Rohit as board of directors, we have been told that nothing has got concluded. So is decorative, is it coatings? And my answer will be consistent, not just to all our shareholders, but to all my employees. At this point of time, it is being run by the global business. They are running a strategic review across various businesses. They are looking at what exactly are the are the sort of things that they really want to do. How can we? The idea is how can we move this company into a winning position, given the competitive intensity in the market. And so they're going to look at all options. And when we have some material information, Abhi, I'm sure we will come back to you.
Fair enough, sir. Just if I may, just a small clarification on the second
Yes,
part about collections rising. So is
yeah.
this something that is specific to a few players, or are you seeing this more broad? Because there is an entrant and we hear some things about the new entrant. So, but I just wanted to
Actually,
understand,
I don't want to
is this
comment about
specific?
any specific player because I think that's not appropriate at my level. And I would not like to talk about, when I look at it, I've seen this across FMCG because when I looked at paints as an industry, I wanted to see whether it's unique to paints. I've also seen a couple of large cement players, and I'm not naming, but
Okay.
people having similar issues, because what I wanted to do when I work the market is to see, is it unique? Is it unique? Again, I must tell you that I would assume that we are still best in class in terms, because our focus is to make sure the collections come before the sale is recognized. And second, but I wanted to understand what exactly is the impact on the market, because I'm also trying to deconstruct the India revenue growth versus the paints growth versus our growth. So really, that was my hunger of learning and trying to disaggregate that information that led me to this. My belief is that, look, a few players will get more impacted, Brands which have got higher velocity will be less impacted, right? That's obvious.
Got it, sir.
But other than that, I would not like to disclose. I don't think it's appropriate for me in this call to mention any
No, no, so
individual.
sorry, sir. I didn't mean it specifically to a player. I just wanted to understand if it's broader based or is it specific to
It is
pockets. That's what I
no,
wanted to
it is
understand.
broader. It is slightly broader based, but I believe that we should start seeing when I speak to many retailers by the second week of November. We remember last year Diwali was in November 9, 10, 11. So you would start seeing that correction happening by the second half of November. People are expecting a better quarter this year, but again, we are putting up ears absolutely to the ground, Avi, and seeing how we really play in this and where to play, how to play, and we are looking at our strategies, our portfolio very, very carefully.
Got it, sir. Thank you very much, sir, and best of luck for the
Thank
future.
you,
Thank
Avi.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
We'll take our next question from Jayvansh Mehta from Care PMS. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Thank you so much for the opportunity and congratulations on posting good set of numbers, sir. So first question was basically on can you share the volume growth for B2B versus B2C? And also, sir, do we see any improvement in the B2C going forward because our anchor growth driver has been B2B lately? And lastly, sir, if you can share the share of B2B to the overall revenue for the quarter.
Look, when you say B2B, I want to say 20% of our decorative business vertical is also B2B. So when I say B2B, I'm going to include not just our coatings, but our decorative paints B2B, because then it's similar and I'll be able to answer better. All the B2B businesses are going double. I mean, I would say, the larger part, almost 70% of by revenue of our business are growing double digit. We've had two businesses where we've had some challenges. One is in our coil coating, primarily because of some pricing pressures, etc. And secondly, in our automotive, which I think the industry players have also reported, right? So other than that, I think all businesses are doing well. On our B2C business, look, your question is, we will see green shoots. Remember that the B2C, the revenue was under pressure after the price drops in December last year. By December, January, that 3% will start getting negated. So we believe it's just a few months and it'll start growing. Are you seeing a tailwind? If that's also your question, the answer is we are not seeing material tailwind, but we are not seeing the sort of headwinds that we saw in the past. So I think we need to wait and watch for November and December before we move ahead. I hope I've
And
answered your
sir,
question.
yes, sir, it was a very detailed. Thank you for that. And sir, second on the same lines was like, what is the main reason for good growth in the B2B? Is it company specific or is it industry tailwinds that is going on?
No. I think I would be. I think it's a combination of both. I don't think there's only industry tailwinds. I think there would be a bit of tailwind, but I think it's also because we've focused and we've been working hard on our order book across our businesses, right? So I think that with specific focus in certain sectors is giving us a better growth.
Yes, sir. So last question. After that, I'll join the queue. So, given the considering the capex that we are doing and also the government policies in terms of Atmanirbhar Bharat and everything, do we see double-digit growth in B2B going forward?
Yes, the answer is yes.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from Mihir Shah from Nomura. Please go ahead.
I'm here.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Good to hear you. Good. Thank
Good
you.
to hear you, sir. Congrats on continuing to post better than peer set of numbers, sir. So, firstly, I wanted to check with you. Most of the peers have witnessed a sharp increase in staff cost and not so much on A&P cost. Wanted to know your view if it would be a requirement for Akzo to beef up the feet on street going forward, in line with peers. And how do you see A&P, cost shaping up for you in the near to medium term?
So look, A&P, we have been hovering around the 2.5 to 3% of revenue. As I said, our stated intent is to go closer to 3.5, 4. You will see various initiatives that Rohit and team will deploy, in starting January, more pronounced towards March next year. So you will see a bit of an uptick because the focus is really, we've seen some significant improvements in our brand scores. We do a brand health check on a periodic basis, and in recent times we've seen a huge uptick in our brand. After a long time, we've seen a good uptick in our brand. We also had taken Yash, if you remember, the superhero Yash as a brand ambassador for exterior, and that's paying us dividends, right? So that's on the brand. The second question, part of the question that you had was on the FTE. Look, remember that before I joined this company, I came from a digital world because I ran Airtel, right? The data business of Airtel. So for me, I think we will definitely look at adding FTE, provided we find appropriate, or as we work on digitized solutions which are able to offer better customer experience. So the focus is how can we strengthen our digitized work on enhancing customer experience, lead management, etc., etc. And we are going to look at some breakthrough solutions. Again, Rohit, Vandana, and team are working on various initiatives there, and we will come back to you. You will see some initiatives again by more pronounced by the first quarter of next year, between the fourth quarter and the first quarter. You would see that we are. So for me, it's about remember, Mihir, as you know, we are a challenger brand. So for me, as I organically grow, not adding huge weight is a part of the game, because that's important for me to be able to continuously fight the battle ahead. So I'm absolutely careful on that. I stick to the EBIT margin guidances that I've always given. We don't want to deplete our profitability other than a 0.5%, type of stuff, depending on competitive intensity. But work smartly, think intelligently, work smartly principle, which is what we and the team are trying to do. Remember that we are one of the few categories. If you, I request all the investors to go to the market. If there's one thing that all dealers, and I've been in the market now, Rohit and I have been in the market. He's been obviously traveling more than me across the markets, given my role. And one of the things dealers tell you is there's no product which is close to Dulux in terms of quality. It's unbeatable, right? And I'm telling you verbatim, even some of the dealers who are very small for us in terms of their overall outlay of revenue, their dealer outlay, yeah, they also acknowledge. So we are now working on saying, okay, we get it. If our product has got this unmatched experience, how can we make it a win, a clear win? And what are the three things that we need to do that can take us to it? So, focusing on launching some flagships, taking our best propositions ahead. Like just recently, we have launched VT Eterna, which is, in my view, the unbeatable interior paint. Unbeatable, right? We've done product testing. There's no player that comes even close to us. I can tell you, at least from our field testing that we've done. I'm sure others will do it and have different results, but I'm telling you what we've experienced, right? And our endeavor is to come with absolutely top-line products and offer services to customers, our dealers, our distributors, to make sure that we are able to move ahead. Here.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
That's on the
Fantastic to
paint
hear.
side. Yeah, and coating
Yep.
side, it's really, what we are doing is how can we increase our wallet share of the existing accounts. So we've got very marquee customers. So how can we increase our wallet share? How can we come with products and solutions which we are able to offer? We understand what are the pain points of our customers, listen to their stuff, and say how we can bring a difference to the way they run their business. Yeah.
Got it, sir. Thank you for that. Delighted to hear, the efforts that have been put in the marketplace. So second question I wanted to check was on the gross margin. Raw material prices have softened. We believe, would it be safe to assume that going forward, there can be some support to gross margins, at least in the deco side? However, I wanted to check with you on the other, industrial side, coating side. Would it require any price cuts to be taken, from the client side, basically?
So Mihir, let me answer the second part, and Krishna will quickly reel to you in terms of the procurement raw material movement and index. See, in my view, we are living in a very volatile world. What we've seen is we saw the crude a month ago coming as low as 67, and then we started racing up to 78 with what's happening in the Middle East neighborhood and a lot of other external parameters beyond our control. Remember that that's only one part of it. The second part is the fact that dollar has been stronger, right? And for most of us, we buy in all our raw materials in euros and dollars. So that's another challenge. So keeping this in mind, I don't think we are looking at price cuts at this point of time, because I think that will be naive, because then you will have to take significant price increases next year to cover the cost of any wage inflation and other things that you NFT or whatever you ask, right? Krishna, on the gross margin, you want to just give a
Yeah, I think,
color?
thanks, Ajit. Mihir, when we see the raw material prices, it went up somewhere, peaked somewhere in the mid of August kind of stuff, and then it started plateauing. And once the inventory dilutes, I think we will see the uptick in the margins, which is expected in the November onwards.
Perfect.
Unless
Thank you
there is
very much.
any further surprise as included by Rajiv. FX is a wild card, which is we need to handle it as appropriate.
Got it. Perfect. That's all from my side. Thank you very much and wishing you all the very best, sir.
Thank you, Mir. Stay in touch.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from Runmai Zogrekar from Asit C. Mehta. Please go ahead.
Uh, Hi, sir. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes.
please go ahead.
Yes. Thank you for the opportunity. Sir, my question was with respect to the product mix and how you expect that to move going ahead. Because I think you had mentioned earlier that you would want to increase your focus on some mass or economy products. So, from that perspective, how do you look at the mix going ahead?
So look, I think the mix will be balanced as we move ahead. I believe that look, we still got scope to grow in premium, because in India the premium consumers tend to consume. I don't see any issue in terms of income, or it's more in terms of usage, primarily because of say issues like rain, or any external challenges that we faced in the recent times. So that will continue to grow. And look, we are underrepresented in categories like mass, etc. So, but I do believe that look, I think the mix will, at best see a very marginal adverse impact, because our endeavor is to try and make sure that we keep it balanced as we move ahead. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from Saket Kapoor from Kapoor and Company. Please go ahead. Mr. Kapoor?
Namaskar, sir.
Yeah.
Haji.
You can hear me,
Please go
ma'am?
ahead.
Yes.
Yes, please
sir.
go ahead.
Sir, firstly, my question is regarding the inventory built up, the change in inventory line item.
Haji. Okay, what is the question? Can you hear us?
Mr. Kapoor, we are not able to hear you.
1 minute.
Okay.
Well,
We
now?
have to get yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Now you can hear me, sir?
Yes.
Hello? Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you for bearing with me. Sir, firstly, we have seen this increase in inventory for this quarter. If you could just explain the nature of the same since and how do the second half generally shape up? If you could give some color on the same.
Thanks, Saket. The inventory build-up is predominantly ahead of the festive season. We beefed up the inventory 30th September, and that has resulted in a spike in the inventory. Whereas while as of 30th September, we were at 741 crores. It will get normalized over a period of 1 month to 45 days period.
And sir, your voice is not clear. Sir, come again, sir. What you mentioned?
So we have beefed up the inventory ahead of the festive season, and
Right.
Which is likely to correct in 30 to 45 days from the September 30, which is by now the inventory levels have come back to the normal levels. Yep.
Okay. And sir, taking into account how we have done for first half, what kind of volume growth can we expect for H2? And since the festivities in terms of Deepavali and all are behind in this quarter, would be done with the third quarter. How do we see H2 currently shaping up in terms of the volume?
Look, in terms of volume, we didn't see any additional change in the trajectory between the two quarters, right? Despite relative muted demand, our businesses have, at a blended vertical level, done a double-digit growth. We believe that we should be between a high single-digit to a double-digit growth. Where exactly we land, to answer your question, it's going to be very difficult because I'm not an oracle. But more importantly, I think the next quarter, if you're asking me, I don't see any material change that we see because of the fact that we are a brand that consumers ask, for, because they want a great experience inside and outside their home. So really, for consumers, which is a large set of India, we generally think that normally Dulux is for the upper echelons. That's not true. You can go to many markets in many parts of India, whether it's in Gujarat, East, parts of North, West, right? Our focus is really saying how can we increase our market share in our underserved markets, right? So my view is that's going to give us a bit of a delta and will hopefully compensate for any further adverse reactions. Now, this notwithstanding any unprecedented competitive activity or any external event which may change the course. But otherwise, I hold to this number.
And so we have in one of the notification to the exchanges, we have also spoken about our promoter giving us some guidance of how to expand or to increase our penetration in the South Asian market. If you could just elaborate where are we in terms of what's the message from the promoter side to the Indian entities.
The promoter has told me, look, you better ensure strong delivery because that's your license for your role, your job, and making sure that you continue to make Akzo Nobel India a place of pride in the global Akzo Nobel jewel. That's the brief. And I'm being honest, it's a recorded call. I'm sure my promoter will also hear this. Let me be honest. In any job that I've done, my focus is on what I and my team can do. I don't allow myself to get distracted by external events.
Correct, sir. Okay, sir. So we are looking for similar growth for H2 that should be penciling in terms of
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I assume you're an
and
investor in the company. Yes.
yes, sir. I am an investor, sir. And so that is what should be the outlook going ahead. Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for the reply, sir. And all the best to the
Thank you.
team and Shubh Deepavali, sir, to everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you. We
Yeah.
have a next question. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Thanks, Yashasvi. Sir, Aniruddha here. Sir,
Yes,
three
Aniruddha.
questions from my side. So first of all, can you indicate about the performance of the waterproofing product that we had introduced, also floor paints, and again the low-priced emulsions, because these have been the mark innovations for us. So how
Yes.
do we see that? Secondly, in terms of the new distribution that we had, distribution expansion that we had started. So update on that, and are you looking at any revised guidance on that, etc. Also, where are we in terms of distribution, and how do we see the distribution rollout happening? That is the second question. Yeah. Thanks.
Anirudh, let me go one step at a time. In terms of portfolio, I will not be able to give you exact numbers for obvious reasons. But suffice to say, if I look at waterproofing, we are growing high double digit. What's our license? It's the same as the existing portfolio, where our product performance is seen to be better than the other offerings in the market. So Dulux Aquatech, and it's had one of the sharpest trajectories in entire Asia, actually, on the waterproofing segment. In terms of flow paint, it's not been a success. I also have to be honest enough in saying I think that's something that we and the team are working on. Because not every product that we launch, we do expect a 10%, 12%, going back to the drawing board. So this is one of those 10% that has gone back to the drawing board because what we've launched is good, but it's not magnetic enough to get a massive shift from some of the larger players, right? So we are back to the drawing board. Our R&D teams are working very closely with the marketing teams and our sales teams to try and see how we can create a magnetic product that sort of weans away consumers from the existing offerings in the market. Yeah. In terms of economy, look, I think we had a dramatic run in economy on Promise Smart Choice between 2021 when we launched till 2024, maybe the end of the first quarter, right? It's been a little flattish, to be very honest. After that, I think again we are a bit back on the drawing board, saying how do we really accelerate? Now there are two ways to accelerate. One is usage, and second is users. Right now, usage is going to come through some differentiated offerings, which I cannot elaborate, but within the next 9 months to 12 months, you will see that we are addressing the usage part in a very dramatic manner with some learnings that we've taken from some of our global countries. The second is users. Now, within users, there are users within the existing outlets and new outlets. Existing outlets, we are trying to see how we can get a higher painter adoption, because we genuinely believe that when we gave a 10% extra, the reason we gave it is we believe that even without it, we were a better coverage than our peer set. And with it, it's unbeatable, right? But as you know, we put the 10% in can. We didn't give it as a separate pack because we didn't want retail to discount, right? So the adoption, it takes time for this to build. So that's what Rohit and team are working on, seeing how best we can drive this user in existing outlets and new outlets. I think the team has done an incredible job on distribution, right? So we, as you know, if you look at the number of towns that we were present, we are on the anvil of getting close to 5,700 to 6,000 towns between, in the next couple of quarters. So our journey on distribution continues. Our definition compared to other players is not looking at any outlet where paint is available. It is an outlet which does a minimum threshold business of painting at least a house, a one-room house, and we take that value close to 30,000 bucks. So it's a very different definition because we want to make sure that we are sweating our assets as we move forward. So that's the way we are breaking it up, and that will give you an answer of how we are driving economy. Yeah.
Yeah, sir, this is very, very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from Bhavdeep Vora from Franklin Templeton Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, Bhavdeep.
Okay, sir. So two questions from my side, sir. So have you seen any change in competitive intensity in the industry in last 6 to 9 months? And second question is about the channel partners. Is there any change in the channel partner behavior, dealers, distributors? Are they expecting more discounts, credit period? And, what's your experience about these factors?
So the answer in competitive intensity is, of course, it's increased. I mean, frankly, it has increased over the last 6 months after the new entrant has come in, and I think that's the fun of this job, right? I mean, you're not here to do a job where you come in at 10 o'clock and you have lunch, tiffin, and then go home at 5. No, I would never do that job, right? So I think it's welcome, it's welcoming. They teach us a lot. Every player comes with a lot of propositions and a lot to learn, right? So yes, competitive intensity has gone up. But more from one or two players, not across, right, of the new players who got into the business. The second, has discount gone up marginally? It has, yes. The answer is yes. But what is the dealer behavior? Look, we are, this is a weighted industry, and at the end of the day, our dealers who've been with us for years know the value of the relationships that they have with us, right? Whether it's Rohit, our regional managers, etc. We are completely years on ground, and our endeavor is to try and make sure we get with differentiated offerings, and we use digital solutions to be able to provide offerings which are not visible easily at a bare eye level. I think that's the trick of the game. So if you were to ask me what, I will ask you, please give me the secret formula of Coca-Cola, then I will tell you what. Because till then, I can also not tell you what we do, right? But till then, I can only say, look, our endeavor is to keep creating solutions which are digital in nature and trying to differentiate by understanding different players, their approach to the market, the type of conversations that they have, the humility that they provide or not provide, right? And the route to market and the sort of push versus pull that they are creating in the market. And that's where we are trying to seek and create a bit of a niche for ourselves. I hope I've answered your question.
Sure, sir. So just a small follow-up on that, on the point of the competitive intensity. So are you seeing that increase in both the B2B as well as on the decorative, or is there any meaningful difference, or what's your experience in that?
Look, it's largely B2C, decorative B2C.
Okay. Not so much on
Retail.
the institutional and in the
No.
B2B. Okay.
No. I mean, our institutional products are world class. Right? So it's going to take a while.
Sure. Okay, great. Thanks, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take our next question from Jayvansh Mehta from Care PMS. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you for the follow-up opportunity. And sir, one question was basically like recently we saw heard from a competitor as well that the demand scenario in the southern region, especially in Andhra Pradesh, where we are also present, is somewhat subdued, and that has been for a while now. So has the situation improved?
Look, our presence in Andhra Pradesh, and you said Andhra, I'm differentiating it from Telangana, is relatively low. So we are not as impacted. But yes, to answer your question, it has been relatively muted. But our presence is low, so the relative impact on us has not been very high.
Okay, so thank. And so last question was
Yeah.
basically, although we are not allowed to officially comment on the situation, but like due to this acquisition related rumors that has been spreading around, has there have we seen any focus a shift in the focus on our business?
Let me tell you, I'm not. You said we cannot comment officially. I cannot comment unofficially, and I can tell you that nobody, no member of my family also has any clue because I also don't have any clue. I mean, let's be honest. There's nothing official or unofficial about this, as a Pepsi slogan said. Yeah, but look. At the end of the day, different players will. I mean, every day I go to the market, I've heard that our company is already sold to somebody, and I then, I was in a dealer shop in Calcutta, and I'm telling you a live conversation, and three outlets gave three different players, and I said, look, a wife cannot be married to three husbands, right? So you please tell me finally between yourselves which players bought us, and then I do. Right now, my focus is on my business, my friend. I don't have the bandwidth to be able to absorb and play with rumors. I do not have the bandwidth. I'm working almost 18 to 20 hours a day, and many of my team members perhaps are working even more. So I do not have the bandwidth to, have chai and gupshup. I finish this call and get straight into another call on, that's my life. Huh? So honestly, I'm being very upfront and honest with you. No bandwidth for all this. My best wishes that once the process commences or is commenced, and to all the players, it's a great business, right? I mean, we build it. I've been here for 12 years. You look at between 2013 and now, you look at the business. I think I can take pride that from a single digit EBITDA margin of 5%, this business is at 14.5% EBIT margins with royalty. So you can imagine the shape and size. Yeah, if you take a 2000 to 2024, we may be at revenue levels 1 or 2 percent points lower than our industry, but you look at the shape of the business we've delivered. I can tell you, if I had the money, I would have bid, but I don't. I mean, unfortunately, I was not born into a royal family, so I don't have the money to bid for this business. So we'll see. Yeah. And I can tell you, my parent is very proud of this business, and they want to make this business into a winning position. Right? That's the Akzo Nobel, and I'm a member of Akzo Nobel. So I'm proud of what this business, the global team, and us have created. It's
Okay,
not
so
about
thank you so
one
much
area.
for the thank you so much for the detailed answer. Thank you, and all the best for the future.
Thank you. We'll take that as the last question for today. I would now like to hand the conference over to management for closing comments. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Yashasvi. Look, first and foremost, to all the investors on the call, a big thank you. You've been a great support, many of you. I still remember in 2018 when I came into the business, there were a lot of concerns. Hopefully, uh, even before the announcement has gone off, even when you saw our August results, I told you that we believe if you look at the last 4 or 5 quarters, we are moving the needle, right? And our endeavor is to continuously move the needle and do our best and bring forward the real value of what Dulux stands for. What Dulux stands for is international, best in class quality, color expertise, and really sustainability. And I believe that the team, it's a magical team. I'm really proud and privileged to be a member of this team. Every member working in Akzo Nobel India is giving 200%. We understand the value of what has got created. We understand the value of what lies ahead. We understand this is a tough battle. We are going to fight tooth and nail, right? That's what we are going to do. And hopefully in the process, we continue to win. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of ICICI Securities, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now exit the meeting.